Hey, I'm Brian Van, SportbikeTrackHear.com, and today we're going to break down the all-new Scorpion EXO-R430 full-face helmet. The Scorpion EXO-R430 helmet retails from $174.95 to $199.95, solid to graphic, at the time we're shooting this video. Please understand, we never update videos and pricing changes, only when the product itself has been completely redesigned. Who is this helmet right for? Well, this is an entry-level, high-quality, full-face helmet that is aimed right at street riders, but it also has the ability to add on some track days. Let's say this is the helmet that you own, and you want to do a couple of track days a season. This one is going to serve you well in both environments. What's included in the box? The helmet ships with a clear, ever clear, fog-free treated shield installed on the helmet, as well as a chin curtain already installed on the helmet. Kind of a what you see is what you get. Helmet fit. This helmet is built with an intermediate oval internal head shape. I measure 58 centimeters on the money with an intermediate oval shape. I wear a size medium in almost every helmet out there. I've had the privilege of owning and riding in hundreds at this point. I chose a medium in the R430, and I got a good, comfortable fit. I think Scorpion really nailed it with this one. They've refined it over the years, and they've definitely got it right at this point. So I think for most people, this helmet is going to run true to size. On-off effort. I think the on-off effort here is exactly where I would expect it to be. Takes a little effort to get the helmet on, but once it's in place, it fits and feels great. And that's really what you want. We see so many people out there that end up purchasing helmets that are one size bigger than they should really have because they think it's more comfortable. And that really begins with putting the helmet on. Some folks, when they feel that little bit of effort, they're uncomfortable with it, so they gravitate towards a bigger helmet. And what happens there is when the helmet doesn't fit as snug as it should, it moves around a lot while you're out riding, right? So it kind of, you can have an ever-changing field of vision. That also can result in excessive noise because the helmets are designed to be as quiet as possible. And a key feature of that is that it fits correctly, all right? If it's too loose, you're gonna have all these additional little pockets and inroads for the air to migrate up into the helmet, and it's just going to be way too loud. And then the most important thing is safety. In order for the helmet to protect you correctly in the event of an impact, it needs to fit you correctly. If it's moving around on your head, that gives you like a void where your head can actually accelerate inside the helmet during an impact, and nobody wants that. Weight. This helmet weighed 3.7 pounds on our digital shipping scale in the warehouse. Bluetooth compatibility. This helmet is designed to work with any of the current universal units on the market. There's speaker pocket cutouts in there. We're going to show you that later on in the show. Additionally, and I wasn't really able to get a great answer on this, but this is going to work with their proprietary unit. I don't believe this is out yet, right? An EXO-Com unit. You pull this little plug out. That, and remember, this has no influence on universal stuff. You can install any of that, but it looks like this is a mount where you're able to kind of click it in there, you know, kind of more of a proprietary system. So more information on that forthcoming once we get a look at those units. Looks like those are due in a little bit later in the year. We'll try and hit a video and talk about that as well and clean that up. Ventilation. Large intake vent down here in the chin. One position switchable. You're going to have these vents here that drive air right into the mouth area, and these vents here that are going to bring air up behind the shield by the included breath deflector, and that works along with the Everclear fog-free shield to help ensure fog-free performance, right? As well as adding a measure of ventilation. Intake vent up here on the top, on the brow of the helmet. These are switchable. Actuate those a couple of times. There's no detents there. That is just a friction switch. And you can see the holes here, they're pretty large. Exhaust is managed with this diffuser on the back of the helmet. When we take this thing apart, we'll also have the ability to give you an inside-out look at how the vents work with the channeling that is built into the helmet. How well do I expect this to vent? I mean, you've got a lot coming here in the chin bar. You've got large vents up here. I think this is going to be a good venting helmet. There's some of the more premium stuff that has more vents on it that might move a little bit more air than this one. But end of the day, I think it's going to move more than enough air to keep you cool while you're out riding during those nice, warm summer rides that we all enjoy so much. Remember, these street helmets, we don't typically ride in these. That's not the type of riding that we do here. So we're not able to go out and physically test it, but I've ridden in enough stuff over the years and evaluated things. I can give you a great idea of exactly where it's going to land. Shell construction. This is an advanced poly shell, right? So read, plastic shell, very common in helmets that are under the $200 price point. Number of shells. You're going to have one shell for extra small and small, a second for medium and large, a third for extra large and 2X. And then this helmet is built in a big boy size, 3 and 4X. That will be, as I understand it, its own individual shell that also carries its own individual certification. Okay, that one will be DOT only. And as we transition into safety standards, this helmet is built to both the DOT standard here for the United States as well as Snell M2025. That is for sizes extra small through 2X. Remember, the 3 and 4X, both are excluded from that. Noise production. My anticipation with this helmet is based on the ventilation scheme. I expect this to be, for how well it's going to vent, I expect a very low level of noise production. I don't think this is going to be overly loud. With that said, I do also encourage people out there. I always ride in earplugs. Even when I snowmobile now, I throw earplugs in. It doesn't remove all the sound, but it just filters it out a little bit. You can still hear your communicator, no problem. You can hear all the noises out there on the road, but that higher pitch stuff, just gone, right? And that constant drone of the air moving in the helmet, it really woes that down. So even though this one isn't bad, earplugs are always a great idea. Glasses compatibility. Scorpion historically has done a great job of that. This helmet is another excellent example of that. This shield is a centrally locking shield. To release it, you just kind of, you push your finger in and it gets to that release. And then there's a large switch here, so like so. To remove it, get it all the way in the upwardmost position. There's a trigger mechanism here that you need to push up on. Once you've pushed up on that, you have to kind of pull forward at the same time. So to remove, push up, pull forward, and pull up. This shield ratchet is spring-loaded. They do that so as you're moving through the detents, right? Or when you're fully closed, it keeps it against the gasket. So it puts a little bit of tension on that. You want to seal it up so when you're in the rain, you don't have water coming in. And also when you're riding, you don't have any air coming in that area, creating undue noise. Reinstallation of this. Let's give you a close-up look. Remember, this is not a pin lock shield. This is an Everclear fog-free treated shield. Their Everclear fog-free treatment is something that has been an industry standard for years. I remember when these helmets first came out, they were the first brand to really get the fog-free treatment nailed. They were great. They are still great today. Okay, to reinstall the shield on the EXO-R430, here's what I found that worked best. You want to go ahead and right here at the hinge that it actually pivots on, you got those tabs there. What we're going to do here is we're just going to get in that upwardmost position, put pressure. You already heard those 2 clicks. And then pull forward and get this tab and the one in the center to dip in like so. This one's definitely a little different. I found that you didn't really need to use the release trigger at all. So clip that in back there at the pivot, pull forward, dip in. Anytime right? You change the shield, have it off to clean it, change it, whatever. Before you go on ride, you want to actuate that bad boy a couple of times. You're going to know right away. You move it up and down. If you have it screwed up, one side is just going to pop off. Okay? So let's take a look at the interior. Let's go ahead and remove this. You know, I would say out of all the shield mechanisms I've ever used, it's not the smoothest one, but end of the day, how much does that really matter? Just wanted to keep the shield on the helmet. To remove the chin curtain, you're going to get as close to the edge as possible and pull up on one side. Once you've exposed the ears, the plastic ear that this is sewn to, you want to grab it by the plastic, pull and rotate like so. To remove the cheek pad, slide your fingers in between the EPS and the backing of the cheek pad. There's 3 snaps, one at the front towards the chin bar, one at the top over the ear, and then you'll find one behind the ear. Release all those, then grab it right here at the front. These are emergency release. Technically, you could just rip on this and pull that out. When you're servicing the helmet, that's not the manner in which I would recommend taking it apart. Grab the front. So I had to slide that back a little bit just to get it to release from its channel. Sometimes you have to do that. Give you a look at the inside. The back side, there's reflective piping right there for a little nighttime visibility. That's built in. No extra charge. Mirror image on the other cheek pad. Make sure you get your chin strap through the hole. Side's kind of caught a little bit. And then same thing here, kind of pull out. This side came out a little bit easier. Sometimes that's the way it is. To remove the top pad, got 2 snaps here in the back. You want to slide your finger and or your thumb in between the backing of the top liner and the EPS of the helmet to release, like so. And then up here in the front, this is a little more difficult to show. But to release it in the brow, you want to go ahead and get your finger on the back side of the liner underneath this plastic and kind of push up and pull back. Give you a close-up look at our top liner. You'll see here are the 3 snaps that hold that in place. Some vents that are built into that as well to help encourage airflow up into the top of the helmet. For the communicator, if you want to install Bluetooth, you able to see that pocket there, Clark?
Yeah.
They're on both sides, molded right in place. There's some channels for the wiring and everything. It's pretty cool. Done a good job of that. Inside the helmet, see some channeling of the EPS, and look at all the ventilation holes across the top. So they're trying to encourage airflow movement in this helmet from the brow all the way to the back of the helmet. Snell M2020 certified. There you have it. This is the all-new Scorpion EXO-R430 helmet. Oh, what do I think? I've been a Scorpion helmet fan since day one. I thought when it came to the price point helmets, when I first started riding in them, right, and I rode in some of the really early stuff like the EXO-R400, EXO-R700, rock solid helmets sold at amazing prices, and what they've done throughout the years, they've just continued to evolve on what they started off with. Well, I think there's some other companies that are making good price point stuff. Scorpion has always made great price point stuff. I think if this is the price point you're searching and you see a graphic that speaks to you, go ahead and pull the trigger. You're gonna love the helmet. If you have any questions, leave those in the comments section of this video. I answer all that stuff myself, and I'm always here to help you choose the right helmet for your next ride.